In our last video, we were in the northern Florida town of Start. We explored the historic Call Street and learned about the city's history. In this video,
we're in Beaufort, South Carolina.
For context, we visited Beaufort in mid-March of 2025.
So today we're in Beaufort, South Carolina. We spent last night in Charleston and then worked our way down here, and we're gonna stay here all day and spend the night. Come along with us to check it out.
Quick note before we begin, we actually posted a video on Charleston a couple years ago, so if you're interested in seeing that amazing American city, check that video out on our channel.
We start our journey in Henry C. Chambers Waterfront Park. Beaufort sits on Port Royal Sound and the Beaufort River. The majority of Beaufort is on Port Royal Island, an interior sea island, but the city also has annexed land across the river on Ladies Island. This park is home to the Beaufort Water Festival, which is held annually since 1955.
After exploring the awesome waterfront, it was time to check out the heart of the downtown. If you've seen our videos before, you know our methodology here is to walk down one side of the street to the end and then cross over and explore the same street from the opposite side.
As we head down Bay Street, the main street through historic downtown, I'll provide a little general information about the city of Beaufort. The city was chartered in 1711, and it is the second oldest city in South Carolina after Charleston. Beaufort is known as the Queen of the Carolina Sea Islands. It was named for Henry Somerset, the second Duke of Beaufort. It became a popular tourist attraction in the second half of the 20th century and had further growth from the many military installations in the area, including the Marine Air Station at Beaufort and the Paris Island Marine Corps Recruitment Depot. Current population is about 13,600.
And as you can see, it appears a lot of the original buildings of this old downtown are still in use.
The building with the green shutters is the Verdier House, which was built in 1804, and you can actually tour it.
And on that note, one of our superpowers is mispronouncing names, so if that's not the name of the house, somebody can comment below.
Take note of this pink building. From the other side of the street, you'll get a better view, and I'll give you some of its history then. Here you see the Fordham building, which was built in 1909 and housed a hardware store for over 100 years.
here we are at the end of Bay Street, where you run into this beautiful park that has some monuments to past wars as well as the city's history.
This sign marks the starting point of the Great Fire of 1907, which was one of the worst disasters in the history of Beaufort. It burned as far as a half-mile away and damaged or destroyed at least 40 buildings.
Yeah, on that note, one commonality that I think we see in virtually every town we visit, regardless of where it's at in the United States, at some point in its history, a good portion of it burned to the ground. So thank your local firefighters. All right, this place is really fantastic. Just went on one side of this main downtown street, so we're gonna head back on the other side.
You'll notice some shells in this wall here. That is called tabby, and it's a type of concrete made with oyster shells, water, sand, and ash. Here's that pink building I mentioned earlier. It's the Captain Francis Saltus House. It was built in 1796 and is one of the tallest known surviving tabby structures. Again, that's that concrete made out of shells.
So for a little more context, we are visiting on a Saturday afternoon. And as you can see, this seems to be quite a popular, active downtown. The very next day, however, would be a major storm that would come through, although there's little evidence in this picture that actually grounded us from going to our next destination. So we didn't realize it at the time, but we were real lucky to have such a nice day, less than 24 hours away from such a horrible one.
Luther's Pharmacy was built in 1906, and now it houses a restaurant.
I think it's great that they kept that original signage. This is one of those cool alleyways we come across every once in a while where you can approach from either side of the building.
So the building with the pillars across the street is the Beaufort Bank Building, which was built in 1919 but only housed a bank until 1926. Then it sat empty. In 1947, it became a movie theater until 1979. In the 80s, it became a bar and grill, and since 2004, it's housed its current restaurant as an occupant. So we've done both sides of the main street as well as the waterfront. Now we're one block in and checking out anything we might have missed.
If you watch our videos, you've heard this many times, but be sure when you visit a cool city like this that you do explore the side streets, the back streets, and even the alleyways, because sometimes you find some really interesting things in those areas.
This pink house and the small cottages next to it are part of the Beaufort Inn. The pink house is the main hotel, which was the Smith Wallace House, built in 1897 as a summer retreat for Congressman William Smith.
And with that said, looks like it's time for an update. All right, we stopped for a beer at Hop Dog. Great name. Obviously, beer and hot dogs. And I think we've kind of exhausted the heart of the downtown. So there's some kind of historic park, and then we're also going to check out some of the neighborhoods. And the weather's gotten a little better. It was super windy, and it seems to have got a little more mild. So it's looking up. This has been so far so good. So looking forward to seeing some of the neighborhoods.
Agreed. This is the Carnegie Library, built in 1917, one of 14 in South Carolina.
And sitting right next to the library was a definite highlight, the Beaufort Arsenal.
Yeah, this was really cool. It was built in 1798 to house the Beaufort Volunteer Artillery during the Revolutionary War. It now houses the Beaufort History Museum. This structure is also built of tabby, that concrete made out of shells.
And for context, this is really only maybe 3 blocks from the main downtown. So if you visit downtown, it's a very easy walk to check this out. If you're really into American history, odds are you're going to visit Charleston at some time. Just remember, this isn't that far, maybe another hour away, and you can check this out as well.
And right next door is the Beth Israel Synagogue, which was built in 1908.
So at this point, we're checking out some of the neighborhoods just parallel to the downtown. I'd say 3 blocks, maybe 4 in from the main street.
This sculpture of Harriet Tubman was unveiled in June of 2024. Harriet Tubman had ties to the area. She lived near here for 3 years during the 1860s. And this is the Tabernacle Baptist Church, which was built in 1894.
So at this point, we decided we also wanted to check out some of the houses that face the waterfront. And for context, this is just a few blocks from the park where the video began. The beauty of these homes pretty much speaks for itself, so we're just going to let you watch and check them out. As you can see here, there were a few boats that were sort of randomly pushed along the shore, which we assume are remnants from last summer's very devastating hurricane season.
This is the old county jail built in 1939. I saw a 2023 article online that said they were going to convert these to condos, which would be really cool, but we did not see any evidence of construction.
Yeah, according to that same article, these should have been opened in the summer of 2024. So obviously something fell through or somehow the plans have been changed. That's too bad. That could have been a pretty cool place to live.
Yeah, that would have been neat. They were going to be called the Justice Center condos.
Great name. So with that said, it looks like it's time to wrap this up. All right, what'd you think of Beaufort, South Carolina?
I loved Beaufort. We hadn't heard of it until we decided to make this a stop on our road trip, but it is so quaint and charming, right on the water, and so much history. It was founded in 1711. There's so many cool old houses and buildings. I loved it.
I loved it too. This was such an awesome little town. Obviously, I know I'm a broken record, but if you like history like I do, there's so many places. This one wasn't even on my radar, but yet it's absolutely filled with history. The downtown is what you would hope that it would be, with a literal waterfront paralleling it. The old houses, these old, buildings are just, it's a thumbs up in every possible way, so I love it.
Agreed.
All right, get off the couch and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.